Good morning. Welcome to our broadcast, folks. We know some of you have been up so early. Now should be about 3 o'clock. Good morning to each and every one of you. Wherever you're joining us from this morning, it felt like a tie and jacket morning at this end. How you folks not doing? And since some of you guys took such an interest in this jacket yesterday, I saw someone saying it's a summer colors, summer jacket. Feeling it. I'm feeling it. Good morning. Wherever you wonderful folks are joining us from. We were halfway across the bridge, and then we made a U-turn. Made a U-turn. How are you folks doing? We're coming to that in a second. How are you folks doing this morning? Yesterday, this time, we were getting ready to head over there. You know, we were hearing similar reports. You know, we were hearing similar reports. We hope you guys are good. All right, I'm getting some audio coming through. Wait a second. Apologies there. See, my morning devotion started to seep through there. Good morning to all of you. My morning devotion was seeping through there. How are you folks doing this morning? You're getting up. It's a new day. Those of you in the diaspora, you on the go. Those of you here, you on the go. You know, yesterday morning, Troy and Erwin, Gloria, good morning, Edward and Anthony. Yesterday morning when I was over there in Region 3, at the side of the road doing the intro for the video about the bridge, our talking head video about the bridge yesterday, a woman said to me as she was driving past, she said, I on here looking for you. Me know you here. Sometimes it's like that. Beatrice Selby, good morning. Sometimes it's like that. She said, on here looking for you. She showed me her phone. I there wondering why you're on. I said, well, we had to be out here. And sometimes that's how your schedule gets interrupted. You know, y'all schedule were interrupted yesterday morning. And the folks, as we on, getting some reports that, you know, it's a similar situation in Region 3 this morning. Perhaps not the magnitude of yesterday, but similar situation nonetheless. As to what transpired with the new bridge, this is the, I think they call it the what they call it? Corruption. No, Barjagdio, the Mar River Bridge, they call it. And the folks on that side tell us it's not much to improve. Still a long line to come over. And they were telling us, come, 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 come with the drone. They know it's bar drone because they don't fly away. But that's another story. That's another story. And look, people are being inconvenienced, and we don't wallow. I mean, maybe 5 years ago, I would be like, nah, 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 told you so, told you so, told you so. You know, a part I missed yesterday, but we're mature now. Let me finish that thought. And we're mature now. But a part of what I heard yesterday, standing on the side of the road in Region 3, now that traffic was backed up all the way. You're going to Parfait Harmony, down that side. You're going to Vreeden Hoop, that side. You're going to one of the areas on the Whale side, right? Traffic was backed up for miles. And people want to get to work, no doubt, get to school. We spent 3 hours just trying to get over the bridge, go around the, what do you call it? Go around the roundabout there and come back over. So we understand. And I ain't gonna laugh nobody for being in that. But we gotta do better. And as I said in that little talking head video, the bridge is necessary. We fleshed out the thing, did the study for a new bridge. This is the APNU AFC government. It's a necessary piece of infrastructure. But if you don't consider all the factors, you end up in the problem we end up in. And we got to fix it. We're going to get it right. But standing on the roadside there, yesterday morning, right? I've heard people, let me put it blunt, I know it's a morning program, cussing Jack Bio. Right? And it's not the usual suspects. I was thinking to myself, y'all go on Facebook and say it, man. Y'all go on Facebook and say it. They see me standing there, and so they want to get my attention. And so they cussing Jack Joe. Is he? Is this? Is that? Is he going this? Look, nonsense here. You want to name bridge after yourself, no? You want to name bridge after yourself, no? You know? But a man Wang Dong is his what do you call it? Jesus have mercy. He carry glass. Wang Dong is window. Right? Naomi? We are talking there. He Wang Dong is window. He said, just tell my daughter. Mr. Duncan, they're right. You know, I went and stand up by the People Bridge and I talked about how this thing gonna be if we don't fix a couple things. Now, is that no profit? It's just common sense. Is that a political profit? Who, me? And John? He said, just tell him about Mr. Duncan. Just tell him shit. Mr. Duncan was right. In my mind, it's going to on social media, man. You know? You don't want to be right. But it's like common sense. Common sense is not as common as you think it is. If you hear cuss, they weren't cussing me. Fortunately, it wouldn't bother me the least bit. So and so, every letter of the alphabet. Bop, 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 bop. Let me Chanel there when I need her. Chanel could demonstrate. I'm not a good cusser. Chanel could demonstrate. You know, she do the kind of rhythm that's necessary. If you hear cuss, you know, I felt for those people. I wasn't so perturbed because I knew the morning was clear yesterday, and I knew we were going to do the talking head video over there after we took the shots and so on to bring you the violent credible information. And then I had a 1 o'clock, 1:30 with Eden Corbin, who was called to the bar yesterday. And so I knew the morning was free. I have my own time, Naomi. I have my own time. So I said, got a couple hours to spare. I mean, I didn't intend to spend 3 hours in that traffic there. But I'm told this morning it's not much improved. That's what I'm being told. You see, my thing here is not to be sensational. It's never bad talk the government. It's to hold the government accountable. It's to speak truth to power. That's what I want to do. That's what I have to do. That's the mandate I have, sitting in the seat in the National Assembly that was given to me, that I was elected to sit on, is to hold accountable. So I'm trying to be careful, not to be sensational, not to. But I feel Edgel come at me the little wrong way yesterday when Edgel said, it's nothing but the design, right? It's nothing about the design. The people panic. That is what Edgel said. Edgel said, you all panicked. You are not supposed to panic. That's what he said. The people panicked. And so that was what was demonstrated there. It's not the fact that the, what do you call it? That's all over the place this morning. The access roads, the feeder lanes, we don't have no overpass, no flyover. It's not the fact that they institute one lane to bring all that traffic over the bridge. I'm being told this morning there are 2 lanes, but that doesn't seem to have helped the problem too much. Right? The general problem seemed to be that the roundabout is too close to the bridge. That seemed to be the general problem. The roundabout is too close to the bridge. The other thing you will notice on this side, because of where the bridge lands, there are several adjacent streets that feeds into the bridge. So everything doesn't have to culminate at the roundabout, at the Jaguar roundabout at Eccles. Several other streets feed onto the bridge. That's a plus. But that's not the same thing that happens on the west side. It's the one entry and the one exit. Maybe they want to think about that. One entry, one exit. Maybe they ought to think about that. You see? But, as I said, sadly, we're in a country where we're under a million, probably under 500,000. But you got one set of people who think all the ideas that generates with them are the best ideas, and sadly, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not. I had a good ride across the bridge, right? Smooth ride, better than Heroes Highway and so on. A smoother ride. But when we got to the end, we couldn't come off the bridge. So we were sitting on the bridge for about at least 45 minutes, just idling. Well, it wasn't idling, with flying drone and so. Flying drone and so. You know, Guyana is different. Is it me, Junie Hackett, or did I see somebody peeing on the bridge? Urinating on the bridge, for those of you who you got your sensibilities. Did I see somebody stop and urinating on the bridge? Did last night I see cars park on the bridge and people take note photographs? I could see you all on the Brooklyn Bridge, man. Man, it was the bridge by you. You got plenty of bridges. I can see them on the Brooklyn Bridge. You're driving across, you park your car. Look at me here, Bobby. Selfie. You know, I'm happy people have euphoria about it. You know, but we've been flying on drones, so we've seen this above the city for a long time, so it doesn't move us as much. Right? But people don't want to park and walk up on the bridge. People drive up on the bridge and park a whole line of cars. Hey, we're unique as a people. I'm not laughing at anybody. I'm laughing with. Right? Julie G says, New York City got more bridge than you got fingers. Well, let me take the Brooklyn Bridge. The one we know about. You can imagine driving in that traffic, downstairs or upstairs. Train might hit you. You selfie. You lean back, say head gone. Train gone with you. Or while low, it's like G. Jam it up. You know, I was like, what? People just drive and park the car. Just drive. And part of the problem is the public education on the usage of the bridge. At 80 miles an hour, they say you can overtake on the bridge. You know y'all doing there? Huh? Are there any no stopping signs on the bridge? Was it Naomi I saw pointing out aliens? An alien spacecraft hovering above the bridge. They'll come back for Jack Dio. Alien spacecraft hovering above the bridge. Huh? Now my head bigger than me, you gotta be alien. They come back for Jack Dio. I promise I'm coming easy. I'm coming easy. Right? And then no signage on the bridge, like on Heroes Highway, no signage. And then, as somebody pointed out, a couple of folks pointed out, the bridge is still being constructed apparently. The bridge is still being constructed apparently. Because all the cranes are still in place, dangling above the bridge. Dangling. The cranes that construct the bridge are still high above the bridge. Somebody pointed that out. You know, it's difficult for me to look up because up to this point, I'm like the tallest person that I know. So everybody look up to me. I never have to look up and, oh, the crane is there. Somebody pointed it out. So you got Naomi aliens. You got the crane above the bridge. No signage on the bridge. The feeder lanes, the access roads to the bridge from the west side, absent. So you see, Ashley, I'm trying to just bash or pull down or bad energy. I saw a young man say, Duncan don't carry you. You're bad energy by the bridge. It's me fault now the traffic can't come over. It's me fault now the aliens hovering above. It's my fault. Huh? Is it? Is it now? Right? Sheila Balchay says it's reckless. Reckless. Right? It's against OSHA compliance. Right? Thank God I went to UG because OSHA to fly over my head a little bit there. Now we said the aliens came to pick up Muhammad, or is the indictment abroad? Which is it? We coming there. Sing up in right there, Naomi. We coming there. So just to the visible eyes, you don't gotta be an engineer. You don't gotta be a bridge prophet. Right? To understand that if they say the entryway can take off the magnitude of the traffic that the bridge can facilitate, that's a bottleneck right there. And it reminded me of something else. I want to run by you before we move on for this subject matter, Malaysia. The Skelton Sugar Factory. When I read that report about the Skelton Sugar Factory, I was so surprised. I was so surprised. Mind you, before I go there, the emergency lane on that bridge, that can be problematic. The Hero Highways, for instance, has an emergency lane. And you see when traffic back up, emergency who? Huh? It's a 3-lane road. Everybody and the grandmother beat it on the inside. On that emergency lane. If something breaks down on the bridge, what happens? What is the SOP for the public? What is the SOP? So I read a report for the Skelton modernization project, the Skelton Sugar Factory. You remember Jack, you had taken billions of dollars. The people warned him, sugar ain't fetching the preferential price it used to. Don't go in this direction. Not him. Not him. The alien field, because he from Mars, he knew everything. And since that factory was constructed, it never produced an ounce of sugar at profitability. Now, the bottlenecks to this bridge, they can fix that. They can get it right. I know what we can do about the roundabout, because that seems to be the major part of the problem. And people who don't know how to use the roundabout. Right? Major part of the problem. But we can get that right. But Skeldon, I read that very modern equipment put in the Skeldon. Very modern equipment. O'Neill, Andrea, Giligi, Linton, Pamela, Sandra. Very modern equipment. I read it for myself. But you have the same old staff. All in the sense of not being there long or in age, but all in the sense of thinking. They never retrain the staff to use this high-end machinery. And then you had a high-end machinery linked into old systems in terms of electrical systems and so on. So the thing never functioned how it was supposed to, because people just didn't know how to up. That was part of the problem. Right? I remember when the first roundabout centrally in Georgetown was built. Oh, that cost me. Freddie Kissoon every day. Traffic gonna be backed up for miles and this and you see where they're digging hole for people? At that point was the one by Vicinjon Road. By the pump station, Vicinjon Road. Oh, I never see traffic backed up there. One day. The road is getting bad now. They gotta fix it. They hold a lot of Diwali events there because the place is nice. You know? They gotta fix the road there. Never one day. The views be done. But you know what? You got a lot of public education where the roundabout was concerned. Right? The only people I saw did something about that bridge. Shame on the government. I saw Newsroom, to their credit. They put out an infomercial. Perhaps they were paid by government. I don't know. It could have been better. It could have been a better infomercial. Nonetheless, they had something. Right? They had something. I was quite surprised. I didn't see any PSAs, public service announcement, by the government on the usage of the bridge. None whatsoever. So, in typical Guyanese style, the man got out of his car. I saw it with my own eyes. Or was I dreaming? I'm doubting myself now. I'm doubting myself. The man got out of his car and was urinating on the bridge. Like if you had a lantern post on the street corner and not even there. Hold yourself, man. Hold yourself. The man just got out and started doing his business. Christening the bridge. He had champagne or whatever they used. The man was urinating on the bridge. I could imagine, I shouldn't even say in a couple of days, because after the inauguration event, you all saw bottles and cans and fast food wrappers. Like some of you sometimes just want to run away, you know. Some of you want to run away. The garbage on the bridge. Right? Margaret says the man was hosing them. Oh, only Margaret. The man was hosing down the bridge. As she says it was disgusting. Trash on the bridge. Yes, y'all don't like garbage. You want something softer. Trash. Homie says trash on the bridge. Linton Ben said, I saw it last night too. Linton, good. I wasn't imagining the things. I said, I want to be sensational. Garbage on the bridge. The man urinating on the... I mean, like, my God. That bridge isn't 5,000 miles long. Yeah. 3-4 minutes, you over. Or you just discover when you get in the middle, I want to urinate. The man got out. I don't know if that's a protest against the naming of the bridge. I don't know what it is. But the man just relieved himself. Right there. I mean, thanks be to God was number 2. What next? Vagrants on the bridge? You could pass and see a man got the bed and a tent set up there. What is it? Are they bridge wardens? I mean, talk to us. All I heard is that the staff will not be tell them to give us a couple of minutes. 10 minutes. The staff will not be affected. That's all I heard. Bear with me. Yeah. All right, so we got some guys came to take a look at the air conditioning at our end. So they were alerting me to that. Yes. All we heard is that the staff will not be terminated. That's all we heard. And outside of that, I mean, like, maintenance for the bridge. How is that going to be done? Day to day. You know, how is that going to be done? What's the SOP? You know, besides the one man hosing down the bridge, according to Margaret. You know, I would not have thought about that. Joy Barry's, I saw it too. So sad. So sad. Hosing down the bridge. Garbage left there. Well, you're going to just be eating and just fling something outside. You know, just fling something outside. Naomi said, tell the man come back because it's we time now. It's true story. True story. True story. One of the AC units not working, and this one feel little like it going. So you want to get ahead of that. You know, we keep cool. Can't be sitting here and we be baking. So much for that. But then get it right. Then get it right. Hopefully, that being said, I want to turn your attention to Naomi's favorite person. Naomi's favorite person. Folks, listen. I don't even want to touch this because I'd rather we talk about governance. You know? In this country. Good governance. That's what I feel. People got a private things. Fix them privately. Right? Fix them privately. Fix it. Lamborghini story. Tax not paid correctly. The fallout with Mohammed and the PPP. All the other things. To me, it's just I want to talk about how we improve the lives of our citizens. Right? And I think any political party who has to take attention off of that for extraneous things, peripheral things, you're going to be concerned with that. Right? I don't want to spend all my time worrying about extradition and indictment and you know, but we all should be concerned about the quality of governance that we're getting. That's what should concern all of us. You know by now that in Florida, I think it was, close to where some of you are, this indictment was unsealed and a number of charges. Gold smuggling, corruption. And the PPP cannot divorce themselves from this because in that, for instance, the sanctions that were handed down last year, part of the notation told us that high-ranking PPP officials allegedly received bribes. And we know now that their permanent secretary in May Toussaint Thomas, she was also implicated in this. And at that time, she sat at the Central Executive Committee level of the People's Progressive Party Civic. And those of you who've been with us a long time, you would have heard me say, May got to choose whether she want to be a sweet girl or she want to be a public servant. A professional public servant got a solid disposition about them. Right? Elizabeth Harper ran for prime minister. She had a short political stint. She was a public servant through and through. Read her obituary. The tributes that were paid to her. They all spoke about somebody who dedicated themselves in the public interest, carried herself. When May was moonlighting with the Mohammeds, her husband and all them, the hunting trips, the this, the outings, I said, May, this thing looking bad. Because the same people you align me with, clearly they're your friends on your private time. Clearly, the same people you're having contracts to on Monday morning. And I can't tell nobody who them has got as your friend. But when you hold a certain position, you got to hold yourself above reproach. I got a lot of friends, you'd never see me in a photograph. Because tomorrow they might lose the work or any number of other things. So it says, oh, is he giving them information? Is she? I got a lot of friends in the judiciary, on the bench, serving, dispensing justice. But you understand, you don't want to put them in danger. And similarly, don't put me in a position to have to compromise myself too. You know, they got some people think we did the other way. I got friends that judge, you know. Better talk to me different. I got friends who are lawyers. Box you up, you know. Can't do me nothing. The greatest among us, at least this is my humble thinking, the greatest among us, you must be the servant. Because the public's eye on me, I really want to walk the right when the pedestrian crossing all the time. Sometimes I want to go over the speed limit, but I got towed the line. You understand me? Don't put myself in a position I got to go before my friend who is the judge and then say, well, we're friends, you better think properly there. I try to compromise my friend now. I take an advantage. You know, we got to be circumspect. Unprofessional public servants are circumspect. Right? I remember reading the can't remember her name clearly now. A high esteemed judicial official, former chancellor, this, that, chief justice, and she wrote a brilliant piece before she transitioned about what is the mandate of judicial conduct. You got no law saying a judge can't go by palm court every night. No law. People got a private life. Right? But going there could have consequences on your reputation. Where you go, what you say. I am acutely aware of the impact of my voice. Right? And if I speak loosely and out of turn, loose lips sink ships. The implications it could have. And one of the reasons why you haven't seen this very, very aggressive, peacefully government, you know, put out a lot of false information and, you know, stamp and propaganda, anything that I have said is because I walk the fine line. Always thoughtful about those things. Slander and libel. You know, if they could march over court, step every day. Every day. Right? They got a lot of things people tell me. Information given. But if I'm not able to fact check it independently, you think I run if I say, oh, this body, that body. Right? It is factual that Ashwin Mohammed was indicted. You can go and check it. You can see the documentation. And in other media houses and so on, corroborate that. And so we're not slandering him. We're not libeling him. But notice in the whole discussion, we didn't talk about the people yet. And that is the point I'm making. Every day we got to be talking about people's personal problems. It's not about us personally. It has to be about the people when you get into public service. And I hate this pretty party. Oh, they're coming after me. They're coming after me and me. Don't do nonsense then. So that foreign powers and so on gotta come after you. It's a fine line you walk. Maybe people knew they were coming into government. Maybe if they had early political aspirations, you carry yourself a certain way. Because people who understand, I want a life in public service, and that public service is politics, they operate a certain way. Right? You want to qualify yourself in something, you must know something. You must have a love for people, as against killing people. Right? You mustn't be involved in nefarious activities. You see? It has to be about the people. And so I hate this pity party I keep saying. It's about me, it's me, it's me. It's me, it's me, it's me. It's about the people. It has to be about that. And the minute we have to take our eyes off of that, we're in trouble. I ain't gonna say them boys ain't gonna come for you. Right? But when they come for us, the public must not find us wanting. That is the trouble I have. And so they brought, I think in the last 5 years, 3 cases. 2 had to do with the mayor and that hospital situation, a traffic violation. The mayor said, the past mayor, Ubrashan Ryan, said something on an interview I was doing with him. They said he was inciting violence. And I was charged equally because I was broadcasting it. Right? I didn't say the words. He was inciting. I get charged too. And the traffic offense, when we stood in defense of those vendors, it wasn't about us. We were standing in defense of the vendors there. And we were charged. And then a fellow felt, I called him a jagabat, he alleged. He said he didn't hear, he wasn't watching the broadcast, but somebody called him and told him, and he felt offended. And then when they asked him, what does your thing, what does jagabat means to you? He said, I don't know, but I was offended that he said it. I don't know what the word means, but I was offended when he allegedly said it. Case dismissed. Thanks to Nigel for that one. Thanks to Darren for the other 2. When they come for us and your political opponents they'll come for you. They must not find you wanting. So I'm careful even what I message people. Very careful. You know, people try to set me up with messages. Try to get you some loose talk. Commit yourself to something. I'm careful. I'm acutely aware. I operate as though there's always something recording me. Somebody always got a phone. It's the territory you walk. I got a private life. And so too much time, and it's becoming too much with one individual, and something is wrong with that. Something is wrong with that. There I said it. Something is wrong with it. We got to fix that. It has to be about the people, the people, the people, the people. And you watch it, all the charges, all the allegations. Nothing has to do with the people. Nothing. Absolutely. Everything is personal. Everything is personal and predates the ascension to public office. But these indictments got to work themselves out legally. I am happy. I woke up being me. Let's say I don't envy nobody. Not a single soul. I love being me. And I am happy I woke up being part of the political party that I woke up being part of. I have no regrets. What I know, when I put my head in that pillow in the night, right? If I hear a knocking at the door, I have a fair sense of who knocking and why they knocking. You understand me? Me ain't got to worry if helicopter coming, rendition me or what. Right? I'm happy. Me ain't got it all. I don't have it all. Far from it. As you guys know. Far from it. But I cherish the little I have. My peace of mind. My little integrity. You understand? I cherish that. And I will continue to cherish that. So I said, I did good. I told you all along, you don't learn to worry about me. I did right here. Yeah, so this got to work itself out. You might see a lot of court filings and this and that. I think there was a statement out last night from Ashuddin Mohammed saying he will fight this and that, and they're out for him, and it's because he was elected, and too much if you ask me. Too much for me personally. Too much for me personally. It is what it is. It is what it is. And then finally, before I let you guys go, a lot of people don't get it. You got the law, and then you get the spirit of the law. The law and the spirit. Right? And you got to know the difference. The law says, if of them got 4 months, I think, to reconvene Parliament. Somewhere between the dissolution of Parliament and the inauguration of the President. I'm not holding myself out to be a legal luminary. Somewhere between there. They got 4 months. But not because you have 4 months that the law says. It means it is right not to pursue with the business of the nation until that 4 months. Because in that time, so much is being done that is going unscrutinized by the parliament of this country. Not that they're wrong not to call it, but that because there's so much business at hand, what is your justification for not calling Parliament to sit before the effluxion of that time? Before we get to the end of that time. Contracts are being signed, major contracts. Commitments are being made with foreign government, engagements and so on. And you all know we got a foe in Venezuela. Enemy at the gates. There's much happening on that front that should be receiving the attention of various committees in Parliament, the Public Accounts Committee being the foremost that scrutinizes the spending of this government. All of that is in abeyance. All of it. You got a speaker who is still speaking. And the thought is that if Parliament is dissolved, all of the creatures of the Parliament, the life of which comes to an end. But the clerk says that the speaker something. You got all these gray areas. Why would anybody who espouses, these big ideas and democratic principle wants to keep Parliament in abeyance for this length of time? And then they can come and tell you about all of this, what did they say? This legislative agenda that they have, a robust legislative agenda. And then watch the other part of it. When they come, they don't want to stagger some of these sittings. Everything they want to do one day. So they got you the whole night. When you could come and in a measured way, you have a 5-hour sitting today, a 5 hours tomorrow. Considerate of the staff who got to be there, right? Considerate of the public who sometimes are, the inconvenience You can't use this road, they block up, this, that. You can do things in a measured way. Consider it a more efficient way. You come and pull out later and think you do. But this is where we are. They're within their legal remit. But that doesn't mean it's right. You think you understand that? In the spirit of the law, with all that we got to do in the National Assembly. But then this government never like oversight. Do they? With the changing, for instance, of the quorum of the Public Accounts Committee. Oh, they said it's democratic and we want more voices to be heard and all that. So the only when government is present, the committee can sit. And then we've seen the effects of that. Fewer and fewer sittings. They never like the National Assembly, like they never like local government. Parliament is just an encumbrance for them. Who needs a parliament anyway? Why don't you guys just say it? Who needs a National Assembly anyway? We have a mandate. So for them, those things aren't separate. Separation of powers, the legislature, the judiciary, the executive. That's all one for them. Why do we need a judiciary? Yeah. And judge don't know everything. Judge, jury, executioner. Why? Why do we need it? Why do we need it indeed? You ask them. They don't like those things. They don't like local government elections. They don't like local government. They don't have no respect for that. No respect for judiciary, parliament, anything. You need all these countries, but 6 of them, the cabal. The cabal. You see? That's how they feel. And that's why you got in trouble with the British that you got. But we can get it right. Let us leave it there today, folks. Let us leave it there today so the AC people could walk. How you all doing? Good having all of you on. Auntie Sandra, Eva, Anthony, Jilly G, Mandy. Good to have all of you on the live this morning on the broadcast. Michelle, Tessa, Humi. Good to have you. I see Ian Williams is there. Ian says if the president, the vice president, and the rest of the corrupt people in this government do not come to God. Do not come to book. God is not alive. With this among the prayers gone up for the station. Thank you, Ian Williams. Michelle says, I never thought I'd live to see a party winning elections and not wanting to convene parliament. Well, here we are. Michelle, you said it best. Win the election, you want to go to parliament. Why? We need a parliament. The executive decision. Who needs a parliament? Right. Michelle said, why was the president sworn in and not the opposition? Good question indeed. Right? Well, let me explain for those of you who might not know how it's done. That's why in our reporting we say the presumptive opposition leader, because when we invest in Nationhood Party, they have the most parliamentarians, and if Mr. Muhammad is going to parliament, then he can simply advise his parliamentarians. This is nothing you want deliberate judgment. The party line is Azuddin is the opposition leader. So when the members of parliament, when they are sworn in, right? When there's a break in the sitting, this is not a part of the formal agenda, even though it should be, and done in the National Assembly, in the dome, in the floor of the National Assembly. When there's a break in the agenda, the opposition parliamentarians meet privately and in the presence of the speaker, elect the leader of the opposition. That's how it's done. So it's not automatic that the person with the most MPs is the opposition leader. It's an election that happens. Right? And of course, they will do the caucusing, and somebody will nominate and somebody second, and you close nomination, or somebody else could be nominated too. It's not automatic. That's the point I want to make. It's not automatic. Right? I don't know if Win has been talking to our folks about our support. They don't need it. Right? They don't need it. But if all 29 MPs support, that's a strong showing. That's a strong showing as against 17 of 29. If all 29 support, is a strong showing. But it's an election. It's a nomination that is supported. And when that carries, the speaker will announce that the leader of the opposition has been elected. And then that is conveyed to the president that we have a leader of the opposition. That's the white smoke. A pope is elected. A leader of the opposition is elected. That's how it's done. It's not automatic. It is not automatic. So whether they are stymieing the convening of Parliament for that purpose, well, that's anybody's guess. I do not believe it is that alone. It has much more to do, in my estimation, with avoiding scrutiny. Because certain things they have to bring before the National Assembly before they enter into these agreements and so on. And you can ask questions of ministers, you can bring bills and motions and all that for debate. But that might, as the Minister of Natural Resources says, if you operationalize the the Petroleum Commission, you can slow down the work. That's how they feel about the National Assembly. If you convene it, you can slow it down. That is how they really feel. Because now ministers got to take time to attend the sittings, you know. They want to do that. Right? No, they don't want to do all them things, man. Put me for cut ribbon. Put me for cut ribbon. A sitting minister, the subject minister says, if you put the commission, if you operationalize the commission, you can slow it down. If you operationalize the oversight body, it's like saying we need a police force, man. They can slow it down, pointing out corruption and crime and so on. We don't need Parliament that can slow it down. What we say is law. See? All right, we're going to leave it there, folks. What we say is the thing self. We need nobody to corroborate for we. Parliament? What's a parliament? Huh? What's a parliament? What is a parliament? Let's leave it there, folks. We're going to see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic day. That's the time. That's our broadcast today. Stay safe.